The high-stakes economic rivalry between the United States and China has opened a new front. Tit-for-tat port fees. On October 14, both countries began imposing fresh charges on vessels tied to the other nation, affecting everything from holiday toys to crude oil shipments. Now, this move makes the shipping lines a direct battlefield in the trade war, and the impact could reverberate through the global supply chains. On the US side, President Donald Trump's administration announced new port fees targeting Chinese-owned, operated, or built ships docking at American ports. This follows a US inquiry that found China uses unfair practices to dominate global shipping, logistics, and shipbuilding. The stated goal was to weaken Beijing's grip and boost US shipbuilding. China also hit back rapidly. Beijing imposed corresponding fees on US-linked vessels unless they are built in China. In addition, China's measures also apply to any ship where a US company holds at least a 25% stake, casting a wide net that also ensnares public companies that are listed in the US. China claims that these countermeasures are legitimate, defending national interests and ship sector security. Now coming to the details, ships linked to the US must now pay 400 yuan, about $56 per net ton per voyage at Chinese ports, mirroring the American fee structure. Both countries set annual billing cycles, with rates rising steadily through 2028, reaching 1,120 yuan per ton. Now, ships carrying dry bulk cargoes could have to pay about $3 million port fees as per some experts. Exemptions exist, but most cross-border commercial vessels are now impacted, raising costs for exporters, producers, and ultimately the consumers in both countries. Meanwhile, the trade war was settling down a little between the US and China. Now it has taken a drastic turn. This weekend, Trump announced 100% more tariffs on China from November 1, taking the total to 130%. Now, this came after Trump accused China of taking the world captive by imposing restrictions on the export of rare earth elements, critical minerals that are used in manufacturing everything tech, from smartphones to fighter jets. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent also threw the fuel on the fire, criticizing Beijing for imposing new export controls on rare earth, saying that it is trying to hurt the world economy, and suggested that the move would backfire. However, this also came after the US had in late September imposed its own export restrictions targeting China. However, later Trump softened his stance on China, saying that US does not want to hurt the country but wants to help it. Beijing has responded to the tariff threats. They say that they would fight till the end, but doors are still open for negotiations. They said, and I quote, "We do not want a tariff war, but we are not afraid of one." The Commerce Ministry of China warned that if the US insists on going the wrong way, China would take resolute measures to protect its legitimate interests. On export controls, it said that it was not an export ban, emphasizing that the licenses would be issued for civilian and humanitarian uses. But what will be the economic implication of this? China's exports to the US are already falling. However, its exports to the rest of the world has increased, and this is set to impact both countries. But US might suffer more as it is reliant on Chinese imports for textile, footwear, electronics, and more. This will impact shipping companies too. Costco Shipping and Orient Overseas International are going to be hit hardest with this port fee hike, as per some reports. Now, the shipping cost will also now raise, and which means that there will be higher price for imported goods in both countries, leading to high inflation. And adding to this is the 100% tariff threat by Trump on China. Now, how long will this trade conflict last? Well, Trump has earlier indicated that he might meet Xi Jinping later this month. Negotiations might take place or it might only get worse. Nevertheless, stakes are high for global shipping, tech, and manufacturing. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comments, and like, share, and subscribe to ET Now for more such news and views.
If you like this video, then like, share, and subscribe to ET Now.